Intel Extreme Masters Chicago is brought to you in part by Intel, AT&T, Acer Predator, HyperX, Betway, and Pay Safeguard.
We're going into map 2 between Renegades and LDLC. And Renegades, okay, they had a great start early on here on Overpass. LDLC battling back. It was looking like a close game. And then Renegades just went, nah, we're done. It's time for us to move forward. It's time for us to make this happen. Cash, though, Tom, is a bit of a weird one because neither team exactly looks pretty on it, right? They've got some seriously scrappy results. But one thing you'd say about Renegades, at least, right, is that they've actually got a better set of losses against better teams?
I would say it's more that they've played the map more recently, and it's like the results they've got aren't necessarily bad. Like they've beaten some decent teams and lost to some decent teams. So it's like at least you can see them putting it in as a map that they want to play. Whereas when you look at the other side of things, it feels almost like LDLC have just sort of left it in a couple of times. They've played it. They've lost to like Movie Star Riders. They've lost to like Valiance. And Valiance obviously recently just changed like half their team. So clearly they weren't feeling too strong about that one anyway. Yeah. So it's sort of like, I don't think this is a map that LDLC want to play, but at the same time, I feel like it's one of those maps that you can somewhat blag it a little bit. And I feel like especially with like teams like newer teams or teams like, for example, with a new in-game leader, there's definitely a chance, like some wiggle room for them to get back into this one, especially as I feel like although they lost, at least they started to build into the game. Like, it can be a positive and a negative, obviously, if you're that far down, and then you're like, oh, we're bringing it back, and then you lose.
10 in a
like,
row.
that hurts. But at the same time, at least you can go, okay, well, we screwed the first up. At least our CT side was still good. We were, like, hitting our shots. Amanek was playing out of his mind. So there's positives to take, whereas if you just lost 16-2, you're like, wow, we're not very good at that map after all. Like, that's what it would have been like. So I definitely think going into this map, they're going to feel a little bit better than they would have done if they just got straight up banged out like it looked like they were about to be. But at the same time, this is not a map that they're confident on. So I think if they managed to get 2 bans, like 2 bans in a row, then another 2 bans, this would have been their next ban on the list.
Well, remember, my win condition for LDLC taking the series was that they claim Overpass, right? Yeah. It was for them to get it done in 2. Now, that's definitely not going to happen. I think it's more Renegades that can be quite happy and confident to say, look, we are potentially doing this in a 2-0 now, because all it's going to take is a little bit more of that fluid team movement that we've seen from these guys, right, in order for them to get it done. Because Gratisfaction was hitting shots. Azza was just playing a normal top-tier game. And it was nice to see Liaz in there. He was playing some real good setup plays at Monster, good use of his flashes. He was holding it down at Pillar. There was just a good, steady chemistry for a map that we've not seen that current lineup of Renegades play ever.
And that's the other thing as well with that map is like JKS really wasn't much of a factor in that one. I don't feel like he had like massive impact. He definitely wasn't like the star that we expect from him. Going into Cash, I do expect much more from JKS. I think it's a map that he can play very well. So it's sort of like one of those scenarios for LDLC where you went, okay, we played against a team and arguably their best player didn't even play like to his potential. Now he goes into a map where he can. It's sort of like it's just a scary prospect, and I don't think they'll get the same opportunities like that they will have done. No matter how much you've pracked a map, the biggest thing is when it gets into an official, especially on LAN, it's a very different scenario, and they looked superb on the CT side. This is a map they have played in officials, granted not so much at events. I think they did play it at Star Series, but obviously they said themselves that was a map where that was an event even where they were just like blagging it, like just giving it a go, seeing how far they could get. And to be fair, they did well for what the lineup was.
And this is the thing, right? You speak about LDLC managing to make it all the way to this event in a very stacked European qualifier, and you're potentially going home on day 1 if you cannot get this done now. It's rough, but you had a chance of cross a best of 1. You had a very, very close game, right, against one of the best teams in the world. And now you get to the best of 3. You're going up against a new Renegades that you can only prep so much for because they've got that kind of very, like, it's not a loose style of play, but it's like default, execute, game plan, go.
But yeah, like the way that they won out the game was just by running into B. Like, that was it. Like, they just went very, very simplistic. Like, they played the early rounds, they went for the picks, and then they just ran into the B side. Now, in this map, again, I'm going to mention the fact that if it does go bad for them on the T side, then they don't have the fallback of Kassad to, like, talk them through it. But I don't see Kassad as one of those, like, coaches who's going to have left them with nothing. Like, no. I feel like he's slowly been training Azza to basically have a lot of the knowledge that he's gathered over the years. So I think that it's definitely still going to be there for Azza. And on this map, I feel like he'll feel much more comfortable as well.
And I also think, like we're saying there about Kassad in general, is... Remember, he left Renegades. Now he's back on this Renegades roster. Yeah. He wouldn't come back if he didn't believe in what this current iteration is. Question is, does JKS believe? Well, he gets the first one. Jacob's chiming in as well as second for JKS. They're not even in the site just yet. And we're already in a 4v2. Alex and Amanek tapping away. Alex trying to get some damage done, but he's already being forced back out of position. No need for the CTs to overextend here. Either the bomb is on the floor. And LDLC, they're just got to be cautious, right? You don't want to be flanked. But actually, Renegades just got a nice little setup here.
Yeah, this is just a filthy crossfire. Oh, unranked. Go on, you got to play a little bit more. Don't know what button you've lent on, but carry on either way. He's fallen asleep on the actual...
just hit the desk.
Yeah, on the keyboard there. But yeah, we are actually going to see a kill back in, and they've got the bomb as well. So it is going to be Alex looking to run back towards this A site. It's a long rotation for Amanek. He may just be trying to hold them on that side. But just look at the clock. They got 20 seconds. Like, they've got to do something here. And the fact is, okay, he's low, but JKS is still in the site. He will have heard everything. The run back from his teammates is going to take a little while.
So smart.
Oh, he's played them, but he doesn't manage to connect the shots. It's all down to the time, and they are going to be going for the plant now. Amanek already on the site. Gratisfaction, though, will end the lives of both. I will say, though, from a 4v2 getting a bomb plant there, that's really not that bad at all from LDLC.
Yeah, they can be happy with that, because that looked like they were just both going to get whacked back down. The fact that they were even able to pull that off is a feat of strength for LDLC. But I guess now... this is where Renegades can push things a little bit further, right? We watched them before. Once they got going, it was very hard for LDLC to stop. And this is Renegades' pick, right?
I was about to say, are they going to go for an AK buy? They actually just go all in. To be honest, like, if this was the Renegade side doing this, I probably wouldn't be too much for it. But LDLC were able to do so much with so little and just never really finished off any of the rounds.
Yeah.
This time they come in with 3 AKs. I'm a little bit disappointed that they don't have one on Amanek, but that may have been just down to the amount of finances that they had for dropping weapons. However, when you look at the purchases at the moment...
Where was that kill?
That was over on B.
Okay. I thought that was through the... You know, we just saw the spam slot. I was like, did that really just happen? But no, it's Amanek. Far away, he's grabbed himself a UMP. Now, this works out even better for him, right? You've got triple AKs, a UMP, a D to play with. You've got a man advantage. You're trying to push him. If Alex can get this kill, which he does, this is their chance to bust in. Azza wants to change up the game, wants to push forward, but instead, he meets Logan in a face full of lead. 5v2 and Renegades. Like you said, Tom, right? We saw this from LDLC on Overpass. They were able so many times to just buy up 1, 2 extra AKs when you wouldn't perhaps normally do it, and make it work. Potentially they're doing that here unless JKS and Gratisfaction can try to shut this down.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. It was like they always managed to get it down to like 1 player surviving, and you just felt like if they managed to steal one of those rounds away, the map could have been completely different. Well, here, well, I'm almost certain they have. There's going to be the push through B, which could make things a little bit more interesting with where they're actually going to go. Because they don't know where the remaining couple of players are. Incendiary going to be thrown out to at least try and deny the plant for now, but they should be absolutely screwed. Like, Amanek's position is just so powerful coming in from behind. Great shot with the Deagle as well. I thought he might do a little bit of damage, but the fact is he's already found a kill. JKS will get 2 just for his troubles, but the fact is that's the straight up reset back onto Renegades, and they're just going to force the issue once again by the looks of things.
Yeah, the difference is when you force it on the CT side, didn't have that bomb plant, it's not an option for CTs, right? You don't have such the extra money benefits. So we're going to see a CZ, a FAMAS, a bit of utility there as well. Renegades, they got to try and make this work. If you're committing to this, there's got to be a real big game plan behind it. It can't be just some normal default play. Amanek, he's already starting things off in the second round. 2 rounds on the board, 3 kills. If he can deliver a performance like he did on Overpass, that would be nuts.
Even still, though, there is the CT side to find the opening pick. Of course, they have a nude member in the form of Gratisfaction at the moment. Has absolutely nothing, so I won't say he's useless, but he's pretty damn close to it. And because of that, we've seen some control gathered by Alex into middle. Now, the bomb hasn't been able to push in the same direction. It's not really worth the risk of having the bomb falling into mid. And it is a straight-up split at the moment from Renegades, pretty much as standard as it gets in terms of CT setups. The problem is Alex's position, it should just absolutely ruin this round. Gratisfaction, as said, has absolutely nothing. The only problem is they don't really spy Liaz, but eventually clearance crew comes through and the remaining players on Renegades are forced into a save.
Just getting a little bit of an update from chat while we're commentating away on this. MIBR just won the second map against FaZe, means they're going to a third as well. That's a huge game to have already.
Yeah, and they could have. It wasn't the first map 16-14.
Didn't see the scores sitting there. I guess Twitch chat can give us the updates, or you can check quickly on your favorite website of all.
You mean in my Mind Palace?
Your Mind Palace, yes. I'm actually going to ever refer to that as the Mind
Palace. It was 16-14 first map and 16-14 second map, so pretty much as close as it could be. Obviously, don't switch streams, though.
Yeah, stick with us.
Dual stream it. Both up at the same time.
I love this. One guy said, peek mid, or you could rush mid, you still get picked by Gratisfaction. Honestly, I said it all the way back at StarLadder when we first got to see Renegades on LAN. I've said it across a lot of NA Pro League. Gratisfaction is not the flashiest or craziest AWPer, but he is a very talented individual. And I think him playing against this caliber of teams, we're only seeing him get better. I don't think he's even close to full potential yet. Now, we're down 2-1 based off Renegades getting that pistol round and then the buy-up from LDLC into AKs. But this is looking really nice for LDLC if they can get this early momentum here, especially the fact that it's actually on their T side.
Yeah, especially like considering the last map. Obviously, I will say that Cash, in terms of the T side, much easier to play. They're going to go for the, well, pretty much the push for Jacob, get him to try and find something early, and it's not going too well. Every single player being cleared up. JKS does still have some armor behind him. Maybe he can do a little bit of damage. And the remaining players are both on the A site, which is where the majority are. But again, Alex being a little bit sneaky in the back pretty much clears this up, and a flawless round from LDLC. That was one thing that they did fantastically well on their CT side of Overpass, was in the anti-ecos, they barely lost a player.
So now we're going to see the buy-in for Renegades. It's a fairly acceptable buy. I'm just very concerned about the lack of utility and not a single kit. So yeah, they're going to have to win this out dual mode, I think, because LDLC have everything to play for. Amanek getting the smoke lined up. Doesn't make it work. Poor Amanek.
It was made worse by the fact that we were watching him and you brought it up.
I'm like, well, figures it all look lined perfectly. You just need to be a little bit higher, and sometimes you just can't make it work. But it doesn't matter, because if you're a man like him, he's performed very strong across both maps so far. It's early days of the second map, but Logan's the one that's chiming in early on here, and already this is a buy round for Renegades, right? And you're down 2 players, and LDLC haven't gone anywhere. They're not even close to a site. They're just chilling.
Yeah, I'm waiting, and the fact is it's the same scenario again, exactly the same as we saw in the pistol round, where they've sort of gambled that they're going to rotate over towards the A site after finding those early picks. JKS is pretty much in no man's land at the moment. Will finally make his way back towards the site, but ultimately it just doesn't matter. Like, he's good, but there's absolutely nothing he can do there, and he's not going to be able to find a single pick. So T side, okay, flawless round versus anti-eco, that's pretty good. But playing up against a full buy and not losing a single player, at least in the initial battles, is impressive. And they're going to be going 4-1 up and looking pretty damn good on Cash so far.
I think it's, for me, Cash is one of the maps where it's a regular 8-7, 9-6, kind of closer score line here as well. And the last thing Renegades need is for LDLC to start running away with a few rounds. Bit of back and forth battle. Liaz only able to get away with one. Gratisfaction's going to try and hold himself. They're well aware of his position, though, and he's going to get pincered in from both sides. Spray comes through the door. But he should be just okay.
Oh, he's going to get killed.
Oh. It's like, no, you're not coming in my door.
I like the attempt. But in the end, it just looked adorable.
The thing is, this is where I expected Renegades to be better on their CT side here. Like, you've got strong players that can hold, you can make it work, but LDLC have just been quite explosive at the start of these rounds.
Well, I think we're seeing the other side of the coin now, where the LDLC have got off to a stronger start. And that was the thing with Renegades, is we never really saw them with weaker economy up until the second half, and that's where LDLC really were just running away with the game. So it'll be interesting to see the boot on the other foot. And LDLC, at least for now, looking strong. We're both sort of seeing maps that one of these teams doesn't really play. And, well, both times so far, at least, it's been the one that doesn't play the map that's actually been playing better. I will say, obviously, we are in round 6.
Yeah, early days here. Early days. Now, Alex is quite low, so it's not going to take much for Azza to take him out. He's currently on his own, so if Azza can isolate him, potentially... Oh, he did just spot him as well. I think Alex saw him at the same time. Door's just been popped at the same... And, no, not going to happen. Azza won't be able to grab himself a weapon to work with. Gratisfaction's running out of options here and places to go. LDLC aren't just running in blind though, right? They're still, even though it's against the pistols, they're just taking it easy, taking it slow, trying to make it work here. JKS on the bomb site, all on his own. Got JKM to back him up from forklift, but both of them. This is crazy, right? LDLC haven't even got in a sight. Beautiful shot from JKS, but he won't be able to grab that AK. And they will be finished off by the MAC-10, so it's a bit of money spree to come in at the end. And 5-1, we'll see another buy now come out of Renegades, and a much better buy, right? Last time they still had all full weapons, but it didn't have the utility behind it to make it work. This time around, now they've come to play. So this to me is the round that will kind of tell us the rest of this kind of how this game goes.
Amanek and Twanu, maybe this is more spawn-based, but he's actually just going to sit back, but... This almost looks like it could be some sort of counter to Gratisfaction. Maybe expecting a little bit more aggression to come out from him. They've been playing a sort of pick-play strategy over on the T side so far, getting the openers. So sticking in a second AWP, and it's not the usual factor, but it has... Well, it may work. Either way, Gratisfaction is still going to find the opener, looking to shut down mid on his own. Now, if he can do this... which, from what I've heard, he can, this leaves so much space for the rest of the players over on Renegades. Now, he does have support at the moment, but that's already looking to rotate away. JKS with faith in his AWP player. Now, Renegades, the problem they have at the moment is the fact that LDLC have not only won the rounds that they won, 5 in a row, but they've done it cleanly as well. Yeah. Like, we saw MVP do this earlier. It's like, oh, yeah, they're winning 5-1, and then they almost get reset straight away. That's not happening with LDLC. They have a couple of buys in them before any worry comes in, and a bomb plant or two could even mean that they still buy a third round. So it's scary times for Renegades, but they need to win this round to at least get that chance. And Amanek, well, there is that AWP. Now they look for the execution back on towards the site. Liaz in the corner. A great hold from him, and the pre-fire spray as well will shut down Logan. Amanek now the only one left alive. That second AWP looking to try and make more of a play. He's only got 20 seconds to make any sort of move. Quick reactions will at least net him one. Oh, the fact is, though, they just need to play with the time. He's actually got another one, but I managed to smoke. Will save Liaz as he can just sit within it. Are they going to try and remove this AWP? They need to pick one up at least.
Yeah, so JKM will have the AWP there. We've got AK as well. A good round from Renegades, much better, right? So once they had all the utility to play with, once they could play how they want to, right? You don't have to think about, oh, we're kind of down on it.
Well, at the moment, it looks like Azza is one of the people from Australia who's decided to come back to Britain, and he has decided to join MI6.
There we go.
Second round in a row that Gratisfaction has managed to find the opening pick with the AWP. He's got Flashbang supporting him to try and go back in for a little bit more. Definitely looking like a confident player, and Alex is just around the corner. He's going to go waiting. Here's him in the Molotov, but he misses, and now he's going to be punished for it. This time, the overextension from Gratisfaction gives away back into the round for LDLC. However, it doesn't last long as Liaz, the other new player in this team, gets a pick as well.
Still a man disadvantage for LDLC to try and work with here. Alex got full control of mid. Azza's gone aggressive in A main, and that's an easy kill for him to find. He's on the board. Oh God,
that was the MI6 joke. He's 007.
Said, I didn't get the MI6 thing. I thought you should have said just Bond. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, but that's too simple.
I'd need it to be too simple. It is literally 4:50 AM over here.
Well, I've got to keep my standards high, Banks. I'm sorry. I know that not everybody does that.
That's how I succeed in life.
Well, Alex, the UK hope, or one of them. 25 seconds left on the clock, and let's just say this is looking unlikely. He can at least look to make things costly. Now, him dying here, not really that much of a problem. It would be nice to keep the AK Twanu's a little bit low on cash. He doesn't get that luxury, though. 5 and 3 Renegades, they get a couple in a row. Still yet to build up a huge amount of economy, but it is to the point where it's enough. Did they actually save an AWP? I know that Jacob can drop one, but it's quite a costly gun to lose. Obviously, definitely worth bringing back in, though.
Yeah, especially on a map like Cash. It's got so many angles, no matter even when you get into the sites where it can be useful. But Renegades, right, they hit that 5-1 scoreline, and now they've bounced with 2 in a row. LDLC, the last big buy going to come out from them here. Gratisfaction's Molly's going to be extinguished straight away. LDLC want to try and take this in mid. Now, they've been well aware of how Gratisfaction's been playing this, but maybe he'll get some satisfaction by switching it up a little bit. Allow them to push in, and he can try and work a bit of the advantage. Give him a bit of control to play with, make him feel safe. Why not? LDLC have certainly slowed things down a little bit, though.
Yeah, hoping that maybe somebody will hand them a kill over. It looks like, again, a fairly passive hold. Okay, JKS has gone a little bit more aggressive, and Gratisfaction is not giving up any space in middle. Alex struggling a little bit with those duels, and Twanu, is he going to meet the same fate? Looking like he may be about to challenge, and, well, yes, he does. And Gratisfaction, this is such an important part of the map. It's impossible to say how much can cost, but Logan, straight through the smoke, manages to remove that pesky Gratisfaction. The problem is it may not make a difference because they're losing players on the other side of the map. The bomb's still in the spawn.
Oh, wow.
And that's a big problem now. JKS, well, it may not even matter. He's actually going to lose that battle. Amanek able to turn around and at least find one, but the clock is now ticking. They've got to go back, get the bomb, run to the site. There's just not enough time. They've got to go running, and the problem is there's control taken from Azza. It took him a little while to get onto the board. He'll even retrieve the AWP, which is not only a lifesaver, but a money saver. 5-4, Renegades, their streak of 3 brings this right back into contention. And after a 5-1 scoreline, we now actually see LDLC on the eco.
Yeah, they're in a weird situation as well. Had they get the plant down on that previous round, it would have been a buyable.
I think Logan will buy an AK. They were doing that so often on Overpass. Maybe it's just that map where they feel a little bit more comfortable bringing in a rifle. It depends, because either way, they could just buy an AWP in the next round anyway. But actually, they're going to play it a bit more safe. So either they rely a little bit more on the pistols on this map, or he just didn't feel like going for that solo play. It's surprising, though, because he has been playing very well so far. I'm actually disappointed.
Yeah. It's not disappointing because he's playing bad. It's just You hold him to that more.
Yeah, I want him to give it a go. I enjoyed that in the last match. Granted, it didn't work, but it should have done. Yeah, like, well, no, if you get 7-1v1, something's going right. JKS, someone I mentioned, will kick it off on this map, and what a triple kill to shut down everything they've had. That's the 3 armored players, that's the heavy investment players. The rest should just be easy pickings, and they will be. A 4K onto the board, he hits right near the top of that server at the moment, and as I said, I think he is going to be one of the more important factors for Renegades in this map.
Now the full buy is going to come in. Logan buys up the orb, having more money to play with there. Drops it over to Toinu. Or Matey Boy with the orb, as I like to refer to him as.
Yeah, not Twanu.
No, he's going to have a new name. Twinu is now Matey Boy.
The funny thing is, like, it's because his name's Antoine, so it's not even easier to just say his actual name. You could call him Anton, if you want to say it the British way. Or Anthony. Is that better for you, Banks? You can call him Anthony. He probably won't like it because it's not his name. Yeah,
don't think I'm going to do that. Don't think I'm just going to offend him the entire cast.
Yeah, but calling him Matey Boy is not much better.
Matey Boy at Pillar.
Matey Boy, thingy-majig, that bloke. Lad. That'll probably be Alex, I imagine.
Matey Boy down the road with the orb. Trying to get it done.
It's not.
Shall I go full London on the rest of this cast?
We both could, but for me it wouldn't.
Yours is Essex.
Yeah, I've got a very Essex accent, as you can tell. Amanek, able to turn things back into a 4v4, leaving JKS alone on the site. He is more than alone, but that's a great shot to shut down Amanek, and now just trying to survive in the corner. He's buying time. He's ticking down that clock, trying to give his teammates a chance, but nice shot from Devaduvek to remove him from action. Azza looking to try and make his way back through with the flashbang. That's not a nice place to be, right in the open, and Liaz, well, more than alone here. May just want to try and save the rifle. They do have enough money to buy, and that's a nice little shot, but he doesn't expect Logan to be in almost an identical space.
Respect to Liaz, though, right? Because, like, they got the money, Renegades knew it. It was worth him trying to go for it. He gets that first nice frag. If he'd managed to get a second, he had full confidence in what he was trying to do there, and he was well aware of the positions. But LDLC will now get a 6th. Like we said at the beginning, right? This is a whole, like, a map where you expect an 8-7, a 9-6, like we said earlier. So it's kind of, this is how we expected it to play out. But the worrying thing is, we know Renegades at the moment are just better on their CT side. So I'm really hoping they can deliver on the T side.
Yeah, I think if there was a map where you could, I think Cash is definitely one of them. I think it's
Cash and Mirage, your maps, you can't get away with pugging. But it depends what LDLC brings to the table. How much harder are they going to make it?
Then again, this isn't a map they really play. Or that's the thing, we said that in the previous though, and it was a pretty good showing from them. Amanek going for a bit of a YOLO through the flames. Didn't really work out, but he was just a fake. The fact is Liaz hasn't fallen for anything here, and that is a risky plant with Liaz ready and waiting. Now Devaduvek has to try and make some sort of play, and Liaz is just holding the site alone. Twanu, or Matey Boy, is looking to try and hold on to his orb.
If anyone wants to go back, right, and look at Liaz when he joined Renegades and how he was playing, it's literally a kind of...
night and day?
Yeah, it's such a complete difference, mate, because he was playing how he was used to, right, against some of the teams in that region where he could get away with a lot of stuff. Now he's learning the different positions and seeing how some of these teams react and what they do. And he's now come back into his own. He is playing more solid Counter-Strike, playing to the level we've seen him now against higher opposition. And that's what really intrigues me about both him and Gratisfaction.
Well, that's the other thing.
Crazy.
Because he can not only learn like what everybody else is doing, but then still throw in some of the stuff he was doing versus other opponents because it's less expected. Like there, he was in a position where his team easily won that round if he just plays more passive, but instead he denies a plant and takes a second because he just has the confidence to do so, which comes from, again, playing the sort of lesser teams, gaining confidence, and then coming in and actually still being able to do it on a higher level.
And it's an adjustment that he's made nice and fast and exactly what Renegades needed. How many times do we see teams where they bring a player up to trial or stand in for them, and yeah, he's great online or he's great at playing in the team he's in, but it becomes a situation where actually he's not able to deliver to that level. But JKM certainly is. This is a man who's used to it time and time again. 5 still alive. Okay, LDLC's by, but Renegades, that's 2 rounds back-to-back now with very convincing rounds, 7-6, and they're looking to try and close this out.
It's kind of weird recently, though, because I feel like the dynamic of this team has changed quite a bit, because before, at least, when I watched Renegades, Jacob was just out-and-out star a lot of the time. Like, he was really just, like, leading the way in Franks, and when I've seen them recently, I don't think that's been so much the case. But at the same time, I feel like, as a whole, they look like a more solid roster.
Yeah. I love the fact that you've injected, like, new young blood into this who wanted that call up, and they know it's their time to like really prove themselves on an international level, and that's exactly what we're starting to see. And this is just the building phase of this new Renegades lineup as Liaz again delivers the triple. Azza's chimed in as well, starting to get himself more and more on that scoreboard.
To be fair, that was the bomb plant strat. So although for Renegades it's pretty much fine in terms of how the round went down. They didn't lose anybody. They're going to be feeling confident. At the same time, for LDLC, their only aim in that round was to get the bomb down, so they have a solid buy for this one. So you said 8-7. It's pretty damn close.
Mate, it's something about Cash. It's like, it's just one of their maps. Even games where it should be one-sided, somehow they get so drawn out. Cash and Mirage are what Dust 2 used to be back in the 1.6 days, that everyone could play it. It was regularly seen. It was the, what Mirage is the number one
We'll probably
map
get back to that, to be honest, with Dust 2.
I hope not.
I know, so do I, but I think we will.
I just don't want that to become the staple. Maybe if a Mirage or Cash gets removed and reworked, probably likely Cash, then maybe we see more Dust 2 come in.
Where's my copper cases? I mean, Matt. Oh, Jacob cooking, but he will take one with him. It's going to be a much faster push coming out from LDLC. Looking to try and make James's prediction come true. And well, Liaz left completely blind, but Azza will be able to trade things. Still, Twanu with another. Azza falling, and well, it's left all on to Gratisfaction. 1 versus 3. Twanu in the corner, ready and waiting. Both players missing their shot. And now he has to clear this angle. He will, but it won't matter. 8-7. All right, I'll give you that one.
Win. Prediction king. There you go.
What's the final score?
16-14 Renegades. I just literally pulled that out my ass. So I don't know if that will happen. We'll find out after this quick break. It's Renegades just edging the lead there after a slow start, but LDLC will certainly be wanting to improve on this after a 5-1 lead turned into an 8-7. We're going to a quick break, but when we're back, we'll be coming with the second half. Renegades. 1 round lead here on the second map of Cache. And I'll say Cache, as we've got Aussies in the server. Tom made a horrible face there. Can I not be Sponge for the day?
No.
Great. I won't be successful. Or handsome.
Wow. You know, no comment on that.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Either way, pistol rounds. Renegades, can they get it done? Can they get off to a start they oh so desperately will need? Because I would certainly say after the start LDLC had on the first half, they looked like it was just their action plan game coming all together. Renegades did a great effort to come back, some fantastic rounds from Liaz, and even Azza chiming in at the end with JK at the same time as well. And the thing is, Azza may not be mad fragging at the moment, but he is at least playing the vital fragging role.
Yeah, JKS as well, top of the board. And I somewhat expect it to stay that way.
He's one of the ones, right, where he has constant frags, but it's not like crazy frags. Yeah. He just delivers.
Yeah, it's like he'll get a couple of kills along the way.
Alex is on. Oh, Alex is gone. There's JKS. We talk about him, and he's like, yep, I'm staying there, boys. Don't worry, I got this.
Wow. In the meantime, it's in a sort of retake A setup at the moment, although they do have a couple of players for the cross. But look at the utility that's already there, ready and waiting for Renegades. They were set up for this A site, but they managed to find that opening pick on the other side of the map. Now the problem is going into a retake. Already LDLC have a disadvantage. They do have Tuanu with the smoke and the kit. So they do have a way back into this round. And maybe if there's more of an overface here from the T side, there's a chance to get back into this one. And you can definitely see the Gratis faction is willing to try and take these fights. They've somewhat missed the boat here, though. It doesn't seem to matter, though. Like, Amanek got so far into the site, but just a switch flicked, and everybody on LDLC went down.
Logan, even getting away with 1 kill then was pretty lucky. He was fully being hunted down. Renegades clean up on that pistol round, looking good and looking strong.
That's both pistols now.
Yeah, and they're going straight into the AKs, right? Look, 3 AKs, 1 Galil. Liaz, what you going for, buddy? UMP. Plenty of utility there.
That's the thing. We've seen a lot of teams go for much, much safer buys.
Yeah.
Just because you don't know whether your opponent is going to save or purchase into this round.
Though I think it's a bit lesser, right, if you're a CT side that lose, because obviously no plant, no extra money potential there. So yes, you've got the extra money, but
at the same time, if you play on the old style, if you force now, save, you then get even more loss bonus and actually have a full buy with an AWP. So it's sort of like there is actually a real bonus for saving. So it's still in that sort of 50-50. Obviously, a lot of teams just go, well, we would have had an M4 buy, but now we get it around before. So that's the argument the other way around. Like, this was the buy we're used to. We just get it a bit earlier. They don't get to make as much money. So it's definitely a trade-off. I think that obviously different teams will do different things, but for Renegades here, they want to make sure that they cover all bases. It means that they won't farm up as much cash, but at the same time, if you can sort of keep all your players alive, you're still going to be making a decent amount of bank in these scenarios. And going for all of those rifles, you didn't necessarily invest a huge amount into utility and other sort of, well, non-reusable items going into the next.
Now, as this is a bit of a slower round here, I'm not one to normally sit on the old Twitch chat, but one thing I want to know from you guys is we've got no crowd. We're just sat here in Europe chilling. Which way do you guys think this is going to go? LDLC or Renegades? As Renegades, they're in the lead for now, but these pistols are being put to work against them. 1 AK was picked up, and then there was the TK in play. Confusion across the board. Azza missing a huge spray there, not even really doing too much damage, but will finish him off in the end to give us a 10-7, and Azza frantically spraying out those USP bullets. So yeah, I want to know, guys, Renegades or LDLC, which way you're going? And another thing I really want to see here from LDLC is that when this buy comes in, I don't want to see them give up that aggression. Like, their aggression was worked from across both maps. On your CT side, it even proved to work. Can they make it work on cash?
Yeah, for sure.
B pressure, door pressure.
The great thing about the previous round as well is that they did so much damage that Renegades really didn't build up any money at all. Like, the whole point of having all those AKs in is that you have that safety barrier to sort of like, well, the way you make money is by keeping people alive. They only had 2 players left at the end, so definitely not in the safest scenario. I think Jacob just got shot down by his own teammate. Yeah. So he's now on 6 HP. Definitely not the start they were looking for. Now, there's a couple of players over towards this B site, currently in a bit of a boost. And the push is looking to come in from the T side here. Now this site, again, is another one that's not particularly easy to retake. And that's a great start from Jacob. Considering how low he was, that trade is more than worthwhile. Alex left in the corner. He'll go down to JKS. And now, as said, this site is very, very difficult to retake. Yeah, there's plenty of avenues where you can get back in, but pretty much every single angle you take benefits the Ts.
Smart decision here from LDLC. No need. Literally not required to push him. Question is, Renegades, okay, your money's not massive, but you got the bomb down, you'll get this round as well. Do you sacrifice 1 or 2 players to push forward and try and hunt this down? Certainly, chat answered my questions. They are well in favor of Renegades. We're getting a lot of yeah, the boys, and the Renegades logo spammed up here, so they're loving life right now. Potentially, all of the French people are actually asleep right now, because I think it's early morning for Australia. So
I was about to say, it's
big up the Aussies in the chat.
It's 10 past 3 p.m. in Australia, whereas I think it is just 5 a.m.
Not all of Australia. The place is so massive that the time zone is completely different per place.
When I Googled, that was the top result. Apologies if I got your time zone wrong in Australia. Don't hunt me down.
One thing that is certainly not wrong at the moment is the Betway odds. And if you are a betting man and think LDLC have a chance, they're at 5.50, while Renegades, rightly so, 1.09 at the moment. And that's because they're not just on the back foot. You're going up against the Renegades that seem to be oozing with confidence here, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the map that they're expected to win. They're in the lead. They have the economy advantage. Like, everything is currently in their favor. So, and also they're going into the T side, which I think for a team with like a sort of looser style, that can work very, very well on Cash. Once again, we've seen a bit of a gamble from LDLC. Unfortunately, you should gamble responsibly, as it doesn't always go your way. And unfortunately for Logan, it hasn't. He's the only one left over on the B site and just completely gives it up. They may even want to just hold on to these weapons again. It's not ideal. You don't really want to give this much money over to Renegades, but at the same time, do you want to throw away a couple of rifles? Not really.
Yeah. This is the thing, right? It's one of the situations where it's a trade-off. Can LDLC try and force this? Because how many times do we see these rounds, even when you've got lesser weaponry to play with, that you can get it done? But LDLC also have to play smart here. They've not got the bank to play with. And I'm not talking about myself for once.
But be a bit worried if they did.
But they wouldn't want my bank, that's for sure.
Well, see how much damage the CTs can do. They've still got a couple of players which are quote-unquote expendable. Logan with only a deagle in hand. If an extra kill for him here would be great. And actually, the T side are doing a great job of cleaning up these weapons. They went for the save, and only one man actually manages to hold on to what he's got. And Renegades don't lose a single player. That is a brilliant end to the round from Renegades, and just look how much money they've already managed to build. Now, bear in mind, in the second round where they were up against pistols, they only had 2 players alive. Since then, they got 4 and 5 up against rifles. Now we go in with what is a triple AWP setup for LDLC. They really have gone balls to the wall. They've put everything into this round.
You say that
in a pretty ridiculous way.
You say balls to the wall, or they've just lost the plot.
I think sometimes those are the same thing.
Yes. Oh no, I talk balls to the wall like I'm just completely off my nut, running around going, yeah, let's go. But then this is 3 AWPs, and that's just descending into madness.
Hey, if it works, it's not wrong.
Yeah, they are sadly. This is what bothers me about triple AWP setup. If it works, then you know teams will start doing it more. And I'm like, no, just no, because all that happens is you lose 1 round with triple AWP setup, and your economy is completely in ruins.
Well, the other thing as well is it's countered quite easily by much faster plays, because although an AWP player can normally get 1 on the pick, the fact is the second you lose a site, even if sometimes if you have a man advantage, trading is not going to be easy. Either way, though, this will be a confidence booster for LDLC. JKS is left to try and do a bit of damage. He is currently top fragger in the server, but he has multiple AWPs homed in on his angle. This is definitely impossible. Like, there's no way that he could actually win this round, but it's all about cost. Can he remove one of these AWPs? No.
Do you know what? Imagine if you're a new player to Counter-Strike, you tune into a game, they've got triple AWP set up, and like this young kid or whoever just started playing the game goes, I know. This is why it shouldn't happen. It's teaching bad habits.
You say that. In matchmaking anyway, people just buy an AWP if they want an AWP.
That's why you should play ESCA.
Yeah.
Because that is what leads you. You go into MDL, and from MDL, you could make it to Pro League.
Well, there's
There's
like a few steps between like joining ESCA and going straight to MDL.
Hey, don't sell out the dream.
I'm just saying there's other ones. There's like open. There's like plenty of stuff.
You work your way up, make it happen.
Either way, we are going to have our push going in towards the A site. There's only actually one player towards the back. The rest are actually in on the highway. But, well, it seems like these AWPs may be working out again. Twanu managing to find the first. The Molotov getting another. Gratisfaction with the solitary AWP is going to find a trade back. But it may be too little too late. It doesn't seem to be working at all at the moment for the T side. There's another AWP to face into. Twanu once again. And JKS is in a very similar situation. There's one less man. And the shot he found in Twanu is nice. It won't quite be enough. And they actually do go, this is intentional. They go and save every single AWP.
Do you know what? They are the pros. I haven't been a pro in even this iteration of CS, nor that awful version of CS that's not even real version of CS, as in Source.
Saucy.
Do you know, when we were at New York, someone asked a question about Source, and I openly was like, yep, screw that game, and most of the crowd booed. I was like, this is what the problem with NACS was. You like all played Source and not enough 1.6. Boom. Shots fired. More shots will be fired from these AWPs, though. Triple AWP is working out. At this point, do you just, as Renegades, right, buy up on the next round and just go full ham in B? It's only going to be... yeah, go full Vega Squadron, basically.
I'd do that.
Because what AWP is going to be able to get all of them? It's just not going to happen.
The other thing is, as well, is like, the thing is there's other teams that do it. In fact, like one of the old iterations of LDLC with like Devil on it, used to, before going into a buy round, they would buy a round with SMGs and then just go running into one of the sites. And basically a team would just assume that was their buy round, and then they go and buy into the next one anyway. So it's got that surprise factor. Also, you can, if you get like 2 or 3 kills in a bomb plant, you build up your own economy. Like 99% of the time, it didn't work at all. But it was still like, I sort of appreciated the fact that they were trying to do something a little bit different. Obviously, for Renegades, they're just going to go right back in with another purchase. They've got the AWP back onto Gratisfaction, and he's going to be like basically the main counter. They need to try and get him finding the picks. I would quite like to see them go for a fast play into one of the sites, because that is the main way to counter an AWP, just overwhelm it. But by the looks of things, they're not.
I'm just triggering chat at this point. Some of them do actually love Source. Maybe go back and play a real game that requires skill.
I like it on my chips.
Different kind of sauce.
Yes. Raw sauce.
I couldn't remember the next line. I was definitely going to try drop the next line, but I haven't listened to that song in a while. There you go. We've matched on
Dead
songs.
memes. There we go. Push.
Oh, okay, see, he says... Oh, Logan, okay. Still getting it done, even though... So they are pushing into B. They went with what I suggested.
And Logan's just cooked. There's still another player in the back of the site, though. That's Alex. But nice shot from JKS. Just about finding the pick. Still, it's going to be the trade back. Devidovec.
Oh, that nade.
I think just about going to finish off JKS, but he does get the bomb down. More importantly, it is in default. Nice shot from Azza as well. He's going to go through his teammate's Molotov, and because of that, actually meets his doom. Now, do they actually know where Liaz is? It seems like they do, and this bomb is not in an open position. So he has to find the picks along the way. He has to take the fights, and it's just not going to work out. Twanu able to find the pick. I'm not sure what happened there from Azza. And the fact is, it was a double AWP in the retake. So if they'd just been a bit more patient, they would have actually been able to win that.
Toinu, right? He's come into it on these last couple of rounds. He's been on point. Got his AWP in his hand. He's starting to deliver some damage. And Renegades tried to bust that B site. I thought as soon as they got in, like, cool, you're in a good position now. This is doable. But instead, they're still LDLC able to retake despite having that many AWPs. And that's a bit of a scaresome factor for Renegades, that you can't hold strong against that. I'd certainly say as well that I need to see a little bit more of Gratisfaction when they get a normal buy out of this to come in and just straight challenge them, right? Like, come on, I'm the AWPer, let me show you, boom, let's get it done.
Yeah, taking a tactical pause. I wonder if this will be like a slightly less investment. I would like to see just somebody pulling out like a MAC-10 or something though. Because you know how many AWPs they have. They would still at least have 2 going into this round. Try something quick. Use the SMG where it's valuable. We're just jumping through the air. The AWPer not going to have the chance to hit the shot most of the time. If you give the 1v1 duels over to an AWP, most of the time you are going to lose. Especially on a map like Cache where, again, it's such a long-played map that everybody knows every single angle, the minuscule pixel shots that you can take with an AWP. But it looks like they are going to try and take this sort of round by storm running into the A site. The problem is the CTs are more than set up for this. They're just looking at a retake.
And LDLC are confident on these retakes as well. The incendiary grenades go out. Spray coming out. Devo holding strong. Finds himself the first 2. He's not going to move from that position. They're just literally just walking in front of his crosshair at this point. I just wouldn't move. More damage being done. Alex gets involved. Gratisfaction in with a plant. It's money they need. Did Alex just let him plant? I swear he just looked at him as he was planting like, all right, mate, have the extra cash. We got this anyway. Typical UK lad trying to show his
friendly.
Stuff. The only friend, I don't know Alex personally in comparison to Def and Smooya, but if you go by anything like that, Smooya and Def, complete polar opposite people.
Yeah, Smooya is very friendly.
This before we get, do you know what? Every event I've been to, even when Smooya's not there, since the whole major thing, has been Smooya, and it's really tilting. Super tilting.
My girlfriend doesn't like it. Either way.
Could have wrecked you so hard then as well.
Yeah, but she'll beat you up, so.
It's only because I won't fight back.
Nah, she's Ukrainian. I think she could take you.
She's also smaller than you, and you're a dwarf, so... Oh, dear. Hamanek, though, in a good position. Gets himself 1, though. He's seen the second player drop. He's got back up there from Toynu, who actually gets deleted from the server instantly by Azza. Now it's time for Azza to push around. Oh, that was so close. He's literally jumping on top. Azza will finish him off, and that's 2 AWPs dealt with. Only Logan's remain, and we're in a 4v3. This is where Renegades can try come back into it, but will Alex be checked here?
Well, that's the thing. Like, he is right around the edge of the smoke. He can literally see the pixels of him. There we go. That'll be the death of him. Azza, the in-game leader that just seems to step up whenever Renegades need him. He's going to go pushing. He checks the boost as well. 4 kills now for Azza. He goes nuclear in a round where LDLC have the chance to take the lead. Now think back to Overpass. A 10-round comeback. LDLC bring it right all the way to a point where they're almost taking it. Again, we see a round from the in-game leader to take them into the lead. And that's just something that Azza does. When his team needs him, he's there.
Yeah, Azza's a man that is not just loud in and out of the server, but he can motivate that entire team.
I think getting 4 kills definitely helps.
Yeah, but I mean, you heard him when we were at Star Series, right? When he is kicking off, screaming and shouting, if that works for your players, if that motivates the hell out of them, God, man, he's the one you want.
Bogan at least wants to bring 1 of the 3 AWPs they desire into the next round. Looks like he's going to be able to. Now, the CT side still have plenty of cash, although the strategy that they've been playing so far has been a very costly one. They are going to go right back to it, so bear in mind that it's much more likely that they do end up being reset because of this strategy more than anything else. At the same time, it has been very successful so far. Up until this point, they won 5 rounds in a row. Obviously, we're now going to get to see whether or not Renegades can do exactly what they did in the previous map. And when it came close, that's where they kicked into gear. Or you could say maybe LDLC fell off a little bit.
Now, you know what we were saying about Gratisfaction, right? Solid AWP. He's not the stylistic style, right? He plays, he gets the shots. He plays the angles, he plays the position, he plays it strong. But on Overpass, we saw him flex that little bit more. That's what I want to see him to try and do now, rather than just be passive the whole time. Because, yeah, okay, as I opened up that round, they had a fantastic round going back, but Gratisfaction now has to chime in as well. We want to see that AWP come into fruition. Amanek, though, playing the same spot. Too many rounds in a row for my liking. Question is, will Renegades pre-fire in any way? Utility going up high. Amanek being blinded off the spot. The flames on him as well. He's not going to walk away with a kill. He just about get that smoke down in time. He's on 20 health. We've seen a bit of a trade-off. Alex is there to try and back him up a bit. The flash goes out. But Renegades, they're not pushing just yet. Do they have a grenade? No, they don't have a grenade, but they got the mollies.
Oh, yeah. He should be absolutely screwed here. Molly goes down again. He actually does manage to get a kill. Yeah, and Alex finds another in the meantime. So that actually puts them into an advantageous position. The one thing is, if they do go towards B, it's all on Logan. He's currently sat with the AWP, just ready and waiting for anybody to cross over the spot. Now, the T side, in terms of money, are really not in a particularly good position. But here comes the push. Now, we're yet to see any sort of rotation back, and the angle just still being held by Logan. He shouldn't miss this shot, and he won't. Now it's all on Gratisfaction into the 1 versus 3, trying to get onto the site, and will be caught from behind. LDLC bounce right back after losing a single round. And we sit 13-13. Now, I imagine the T's are going to risk it all, force it here. But this is pretty much the map. Now, we've already been in a position where Renegades managed to squeeze out the first one of their opponent's choice. We do have one more map ready and waiting in the wings in the form of Mirage, the middle ground for both of these teams. But the fact is, Renegades were expected, especially after being in the lead by quite a margin, to take this one.
Well, I said a 16-14 in favor of Renegades. You made me predict at the half. Will it be possible now? Still this triple AWP setup. Unorthodox, but working out for LDLC, so you can't really question it anymore. Devo, right close to the door. Liaz right on the opposite side. They've got no idea, though.
This position is a risky one to take. The thing is, if he can just double back around and face into the door, he might have a chance. And that's the thing. They have absolutely no idea he's here, and he's just ruined the round for Renegades. Gratisfaction will be able to trade one back, and a missed shot from Twanu. Oh, no, sorry. It was Amanek finding the kill instead. It won't matter. Both kills go their way. 14-13. This triple AWP setup has somehow just worked perfectly because Renegades have never really been able to counter it. And now they're sat 14-13 after being in the lead. I think it was 12-7. And now, they don't have the money. They have to either just take the hard eco and play for the buy round, or take the risk here, and it's just going to be the eco.
So they're playing for that overtime, and it is because even getting forced up pistols, right, and having lesser utility, when they've had the full buys, they've not really had a counter to this. But also, where it is so unorthodox to see a triple AWP setup, would you be set up to be able to counter it, right? Would you have that, like, okay, this is what we would do against this. It's not a normal thing coming into play.
Rush B Mac 10s.
You really want to see that, don't you?
Yeah, disappointing. Oh, Jacob will at least get himself a pick, find a rifle, but it isn't going to... Oh, okay, I said it isn't going to last long. He manages to get a second kill. Now, in the grand scale of things, all it really does is add a little bit of extra money into his pocket, as it won't affect the LDLC economy whatsoever. Now, Renegades are going to take...
Logan's just dropping AWPs for days.
Well, why not? He's got plenty of money to do it. Twanu as well, sat with $9,000 even after buying. Maybe eventually we'll see the legendary 5-man AWP. There we go. T-side have at least got themselves a purchase into this one. The pause comes to an end. The problem is, over the last few rounds, well, it's been 8 of the last 9 have been won by LDLC. They're looking to, well, finish this one off, take us to a third map. Mirage is waiting. We'll see if Renegades can keep this going that little bit longer, maybe take us to OT and have the chance to finish it in 2. This is their map choice. LDLC looking to steal it away, and they've got 3 players ready and waiting over towards this site. A quick mid rotation available to them. Alex in the perfect spot to come in on the flank, and already 1 AWP goes their way. Logan just styling on the site, and this is looking like it is done and dusted. JKS and Gratisfaction looking to try and turn this. JKS does manage to find 1 at least. Actually, a second for JKS. It might not be done yet. The fat lady hasn't began to sing. Well, as the push comes back in, Gratisfaction is well placed. He doesn't find the kill, though. Only manages 1. It's left into the 1v1 situation. JKS, he's been good so far, looking to try and reposition through the smoke.
That's huge. What a play. What a position. JKS. Oh, my. Question is, though, LDLC, they really could do it. Yeah, they can do the triple if they want. Oh, man, they are doing it. This is commitment of another level to a triple AWP setup.
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly that. It's sort of like old-style VP. It's just like, we'll keep doing the same thing again and again until you stop us.
We'll get a tournament win again.
Well, no, actually, that's the problem. They stopped doing the same thing over and over again. They changed it.
That's it. That was the problem.
Bring back Taz. 2K19.
Bring back Cuban.
All right.
We'll go real old school. Go real old school. All right, so it's 15-14. Renegades, do or die round. I said it'd be 16-14, and I didn't say it was going to be LDLC.
Well, the buy that Renegades have come in with definitely isn't the best we've seen so far from them. A couple of Galils. Utility being expended. They're looking to try and pick up the pace a little bit here. Boost straight over into mid. Davidovek's the one taking a lot of the damage, and Aminek in the corner. Molly's not coming in, position not being cleared properly, and still this mid control being challenged by both teams.
The fact that Aminek's got away with playing sandbags at mid 4-5 rounds in a row and get kills every single time is making me think Renegades are on that little bit of tilt, right? Because you were heading this game, you were looking solid, what was, like we said, 12-7 or something that Renegades were up. And now they're in a bit of a position where it's like, oh, we're almost there. We didn't really want to go to overtime. We're really on the back foot. We didn't have an answer for the triple AWP setup. But also, we're not playing smart Counter-Strike at that point. Renegades should be aware that this is constantly happening to them.
Well, with 50 seconds left on the clock. There's still mid-control for Renegades, but the fact is it's more because the CT side have given it up. In the meantime, they've tried to take some further control in towards A main. But the bomb's actually going to go splitting in through middle, or is it? They seem very hesitant as to where they're actually going at the moment, and the clock is not on their side. They don't have the time to hesitate. They don't have the time to make the decision. They have to make their move. Logan has held himself an incendiary, and in fact, there is another one as well. Davidovek has one more incendiary to throw down, and they've got to clear this AWP. Now the push is coming in. Aminek finds one, Logan with another, and we are heading surely to map 3 at this point. 16-14, you were correct on the score, but the fact is just not the team.
Aminek has delivered every map so far. He's on beast mode. He's causing them a whole world of hurt, but also, I just got to keep coming back to it. Renegades, they were not reactive to what LDLC were doing, right? You had such a good half to get it into the 8-7. We saw some good plays across. Do you know what? I really hope in this replay we have that impact Molly as well, where he just died from it hitting him. That's what I want to see. But also, I just think that Renegades should be kicking themselves for the fact they didn't really wake up to what LDLC were doing. There was too much of LDLC playing like just their game and Renegades not punishing them for it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that can be put on the fact that, well, we don't have Cassard here at the moment. Like when they're taking their pauses, it's just them talking through together. I think these are definitely things that if he was around, they could have been fixed. And the fact is that the weirdest thing about it, for example, that Aminek position is in one of the rounds they did counter it. It was Azza just running at him and just took him down. He got 4 kills in that round. And I was like, okay, this is going to be the turning point. But then they went right back to just leaving him in that position. Like the fact is, like, you watch a team like Astralis, the difference is, okay, he can easily just put out your Molotov with a smoke. You throw 3 HEs at him, he's dead. And that's the thing. That sort of just impact of $900. You could have taken that AWP out of the round, like you said, 3 or 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, and this is one of the problems, right? We've got a situation where Renegades don't have their coach, and as there is that newer in-game leader to bring into this was meant as well. Devu just didn't have to move his crosshair at all. They just kept walking in front of him. There you go, JKS is like, yep, I'll give this away. Cool, no problem. It's just, there was a lot of these rounds where you just go, that was a little bit too easy in LDLC's favor, and I think that's where now on Mirage, I need to see Renegade shut them down early, because you give LDLC an inch and they're taking a mile.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, we are going off to what will be our final break of the night, because we have got one more map to show you. I'll see you in a moment.